is. I'm happy to be here with you today. I'm going to wait and see for us to actually go live and for me to be able to see the feed that I'm in camera and everything's fantastic. Because you never know. You never know what's going to happen, right? I'm going to check on my iPad so that I can get some comments. And if you're joining us and you are new, please let me know. It's your first time watching. I would love to say hi. And if you are a regular, say hi and let us know where you guys are from and just talk amongst yourselves in the chat. If you don't mind giving a thumbs up, that would be fantastic. All right, I found the live feed. I think it's a little delayed, but that's okay. I'm used to that. All right, let's go ahead and do some housekeeping until everybody starts popping in here. Hey, Lou, thanks for joining. All right, so we had bonus days for all of July, and everybody earned $5 coupons for $50 purchases from my online store. That was our US promotion. And so now you get to use these coupons between today, the 1st, through the 31st of August, and trade them in for some free stuff. I'm all about the free stuff, so I don't want you guys to forget to use these. I did a blog post today on my website and tried to remind you that it is time to redeem your coupons. So you should see something similar to this image here on the website when you go on there. In addition to it, we're having a kit sale. So if you're somebody who likes the kits collection, the kit sale is for you. Up to 30% off the kits collection just till the end of the month. And so if you like kits, you can get use your coupons towards the kits, right? There's a new kit this month. I'm going to show you that in a minute, but let's keep going. Don't forget, there's some online products that are not located in any catalog, and you'll find those under, I think it's under new or promotions. And then Paper Pumpkin, you guys know how much I love Paper Pumpkin. Meaningful Flowers, this kit I think is going to be just stunning. I'm really excited about it. And yeah, hopefully it's going to be as great as we think, right? So it looks like it's watercolored. One cool thing is not only do you get the stamp set that comes with the kit, you're going to get an add-on stamp set, an extra free stamp set with this month's kit only. So that's always good. I like to get some extra freebies, and Paper Pumpkin is giving it to us this month. And I think it's going to be really beautiful. I have a feeling that the lady who drew the artwork for this is the same one who did that sunflower kit a while back that everybody was like flipping out over. And so I plan on getting 2 of these this month. And if you want to up your kits, you just have to sign into your Paper Pumpkin account, and you can increase your kits to 2. And then once you're at 2, then after you've gotten your 2, you can go back in and change it to 1 if you just want 1 for the next month. It's very simple to do that. And the kits collection is what I was talking about, up to 30% off the kits. And we have a new kit. This is our new kit. It's called Festive Tags, so it's a Christmas kit. Hey, Eileen. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up for me. And the festive kit is a tag kit. So this one's going to be really fun. The nice thing is no stamping involved. So it's a really great kit to grab a bunch of, get together with a bunch of ladies, a bunch of friends, people from church, and everybody just sit and work on their kits and talk, and it's really no pressure because there's no stamping, so it's just sit and talk and have a good time and work on these cool tags. So there's 5 designs, and you get to make 3 of each tag. The cool thing is if you take these tags and you put them onto a card base, then you now have a card. So they will transition to cards if you choose to make them so. If not, you have some Christmas tags that are really pretty for the Christmas holiday coming up, and it's only $13. So it's something very inexpensive that you could do with your girlfriends and get together and get a bunch of the same kit and all work on that together. Let me show you another photo of this festive tags kit. So these are the finished tags. So these are the 5 different ones, 3 of each, and they're super cute. I think you guys are going to really like this kit. All right, let's see what else I have here. July's kit, the Blossom Wishes. This one is also a non-stamping kit, so it's $13, and it's 8 cards for each 2 designs. This is a really fun kit because it's a slimline card. It's a different shape, and I think that you guys will enjoy this kit as well. All right, I guess that's it for announcements. Let's get started, and we will start stamping. We are using a new stamp set this week. It's called Just My Type, and it's on page 69 of our catalog. This is the cute images from this set, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy. I've been having so much fun using this set and making some really cute projects. Today's project is bright and fun and probably my favorite one that I have made, and I hope that you guys are going to like it. So in addition to the Just My Type, today I am using our Paper Florist dies on our card. So if you don't have the Paper Florist dies, they're located on page 165. They're really fun to add some fun to your cards. It's that one right there. So it's really fun to add those to your projects. And I think that's it for that. So here's our card we're going to make today. Super cute, super fun, and we can go ahead and get started. I did want to point out that I'm using the 2022 to 2024 in color designer series paper today, and they're 6x6 paper packs. They come out every year. They come in all the colors, and this is last year's in colors, but they are really fun and whimsical. Gonna move our stamp set off the table. These are the dies. I'm going to leave those because I'll probably reference those. I'm going to put that right there with our card. Our card today is 4 1/4 by 11 inches. That's the size or the length of the card. And we're going to grab our Simply Scored and get started putting that score mark in there. So I'm going to grab my board. I use this every single time I stamp. And because this is 11 inches at 5 1/2 is going to be our score mark. And then we'll take the bone folder. And I'm using basic white thick cardstock today. Whenever I use white as my base, I tend to use the thick version of our basic white cardstock. All right, so there's a lot going on today on this card. So we're going to get all of our parts and pieces ready, and then we're going to start the hard part. So I've already die cut all of the pieces that we will need from the Paper Florist dies. So let me pull those out. I put them in a baggie so I wouldn't lose them. And I will show you what I used. So we used 3 of this leaf. Let me grab the other one. Okay. And 2 of this leaf. And then 1 of this green holder that holds the little buds, but we don't need the buds that come out of the top. Those are made out of Parakeet Party. That's the color paper that I chose. Then we have Flirty Flamingo. And Flirty Flamingo, I have 3 of the small X flowers and 2 of the large. Okay. And then for this circle, this is Orchid Oasis, and it's the smallest stitched circle. So it's this one right here. Here are the X flowers. These are the leaves. So that's that one. This is the one we have 3. This is the one that we have 2. All right, so now we have this die, which I just shook out of place right here, the set of 4. And for that one, we have 1, 2, 3 of the small and 3 of the large. So you get in the one die does 2 and 2, so then you just need to run it through one more time and get a second one. Hey Meme, thanks for joining us. All right, so that's the white. This one here is the Flirty Flamingo. This little Orchid Oasis center is this one here that's stitched. This is this piece here. These leaves are this leaf right here, and then this leaf is this one. So those are what I used out of the Paper Florist dies. All right, we also have our stamp from the Just My Type, and I stamped that in Flirty Flamingo, and I stamped the paper, and you can see I have some paper here at the bottom. I already went ahead and fussy cut those out so we wouldn't take the time to do that. And then this is a scrap paper, and I'm going to stamp for you the Hello stamp right here. It's one stamp. So this is all one stamp, and it stamps the word hello, and those are supposed to look like typewriter keys, and I think they actually do. I think they look very typewriter key-ish, if that's even a word. So we're going to take our stamp, our hello stamp, and our Orchid Oasis ink pad, and I'm going to go ahead and ink it up just a few times, just making sure that I have a good amount of that color. And we're going to go ahead and stamp this on this scrap paper right here. I think I want a little bit more of that L. I don't think it was dark enough. Okay, I think we're good now. But now I don't have the smoothness. All right, we'll try again. Here we go. So I'm going to stamp that down, pull that away. There's our hello. We're going to need this ink pad again, but not yet. So let's go ahead and clean that, and then I'm going to get those pieces prepped. So I decided to punch those out. I wanted them to be separate so that they would look like the typewriter keys individually and from an old typewriter. So I'm using a 3/4 inch circle punch. And I will link that in the description of the video if I haven't already. So I'm just going to hold that and hover it around my letters and go ahead and punch those out. Hi Dawn, thanks for joining us. Where are you from? And is this your first time catching me live? All right, so there are the 5 letters. I'm going to bring them up here. All right, so that is all the parts and pieces to make this card except for the paper. So I also have 2 pieces of the designer series paper I was talking about in the Orchid Oasis, and then a piece of basic white cardstock. So the basic white cardstock is 4 1/4 by 1/4 inch. This is 1/2 inch by 4 1/4 inches. And this is 4 1/4 inches by 2 1/2 inches. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and get started on our card. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to attach the white flowers down onto our card base. So I'm going to move my leaves to the side and my flowers to the side. And this piece for the center of one, I'm going to move my punched pieces over and out of the way, just so that we have room for you guys to see what's going on. Okay, so we're going to grab our silicone mat, and I'm going to attach those floral pieces onto the top of this card. I wanted it to look like it was an embossed, with an embossing folder kind of look. And so what I did was I started with these and I laid them onto my card like so. Okay, I laid them so that they would nestle within each other and kind of sit like that. And then on the next row, I went the opposite direction. I did the small ones with the large in the middle. All right, so this is how these are going to get glued. Hopefully you guys can see, because I know it is white on white. It's a little harder to see, but hopefully my lighting in here is good enough for you to see that. So I'm going to start with one, and I'm just going to pull it off and add my wet glue behind it. I'm not going to get too crazy with the glue because I don't want the glue oozing out, because then it will resist my ink. So I just want it to sit just how it is. And there's the first one, and I'm going to go ahead and do the second one, and then I'll do the one in the middle. Okay, let's do the middle one now. Thanks for joining us, Dawn. Happy to have you with us. We're live every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so that would be 5, I think, for you, right? 5 p.m. And then on Thursdays, I do it at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Eastern Time, which would be, I think, at your 10 a.m. All right, so there is our first row. We're going to work on this second row. And again, I'm going to do the 2 outer pieces, and then I'm going to nest the one in the middle. It's easier that way to eyeball, because as you can see, I mean, it's not perfect. It doesn't matter. It's going to be somewhat covered, but I wanted to have that look of an embossed panel. All right, let's bring that down slightly and over. That's good there. Okay, and let's do our last one. We'll bring the glue back out in a minute, but right now we don't need it. So we'll put our last piece in. And I think that looks pretty awesome. All right. So now I'm going to grab a scrap paper. And I always recycle all my paper. So this was our bonus day promotion paper, and so I'm going to use it for my scrap. And we're going to do some ink blending over the top of this piece. And so this piece here has been ink blended on the top, over the top of those pieces of cardstock. So we're going to grab our Orchid Oasis. Hi Diane, thanks for joining us. I'm happy that you are here. And it's your first time watching live. I'm so happy to have you. You're in South Carolina, so you're the same time zone that we are, or that I am. All right, so I'm gonna get off some of the color because I don't want it to be too dark, and we're gonna just start going across our flowers. And this is just laying a base for the ink to start grabbing. So you're just going to take your time and real gently in a circular motion, you're just going to press your hand downward and add some color in between. And then we're going to just pick up some more color. And I always like to take that off. And so little by little, we're layering this color down. I'm actually going to bring it a little bit lower because there's a little bit of room. We don't want there to be any parts that are white. So I want to make sure that we get some color down at the bottom as well. So ink blending can be a little bit time consuming, especially when you are doing a dark color. Now this Orchid Oasis is not super dark, but especially when you ink blend it, it's real subtle. But as you keep layering your color, then you get the color that the ink pad is, which is a darker purpley blue, almost a periwinkle color is what I want to say. So I'm trying to get in between the flower pieces, not just on the raised floral pieces, but you know, the background as well. So I'm just pushing down as I ink, and you can see it's starting to darken. So as you continue to layer the color, it's just going to keep getting darker and darker. And if you have an ink pad that you haven't used as much, mine has been very well loved. I stamp constantly, and so my ink pads get re-inked often because I use a lot of ink. So we can see it getting darker and darker. And this layer here is going to get really nice and bright for us. It's starting to get that intense color that I want it to have. It's really fun to do ink blending. I really enjoy it, and you just take your time, and really that's the key to anything, right? When you take your time, the better it works out. So I'm going to try and fill in where I see the, you know, more light orchid, and try and pop that dark color up over it. We're almost to the point where we're ready to stop. Because now as we add our layers, they're going to get really dark. We've passed that threshold where it's light, and now we're headed into the dark side. Just going to add a little bit more at the bottom because I really want to make sure that we have that darkness across that bottom section as well. And then if there's any little areas that are not quite as dark as I want, I'm going to bring my blending brush into those, like into these little crevices in between the flowers, and really deposit my color there. And I think I'm happy for the most part. What do you guys think? I think we have a good coloring. Let me bring it up to the camera so you guys can see. I think it's pretty good. All right. Well, as you can see, I have ink on my fingers, which is not good, but luckily I'm covering that up. So I'm gonna make sure I grab my baby wipe that I always have on the ready because I'm messy, hence the name of my website, Inky Hands Warm Hearts. All right, so I'm gonna move that out of the way. And the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna cover up my inky, messy piece here with our cardstock, and I mean with our DSP, and you can see that the color matches really well. So I'm going to go ahead and add that. I'm going to bring in my mat. And then I'm going to go ahead and get the scrap paper out of the way so that no more color gets picked up onto my fingers, because when I go to the inside, I definitely don't want to spread any ink in there. So let's move this out of the way. And we'll cover up this mistake of my inky fingers at the bottom. Those inky hands of mine. All right. There we go. So there is that piece. Now, this is where the little white piece comes in, and you're going to understand. When you put this down, it just draws your eye and separates those two pieces, and you see what a difference that makes on the card. I'm going to take it off, and then I'm going to put it back for you guys to see what a huge difference that makes on that card. So let's go ahead and add that, and then I'll have to trim if there's any excess off, and then we'll be ready to move on to the next step. So I'm going to turn this. I'm going to try and line that up on that edge and lay that across my piece. Okay, let's trim any excess off. On this side I have a little bit, and on this side I have a little bit of DSP, just a slight amount. I'm going to wipe my fingers one more time as I keep touching this ink blending. I want to make sure that they are clean. All right. So let's go ahead and attach on the inside. That way I can close this card and not worry about inking it up. So we're going to add this little 1/2 inch by 4 1/4 inch piece. Hey Rita, thanks for being here. I did a little ink blending for you, Rita. I don't know if you got to catch any of that or if you missed it. But the replay is always there for you, so you can catch it whenever you're ready, whenever you have time. So on here, I'm going to put this piece at the bottom. I'm turning it just to make it a little easier for me to attach the DSP. And I'm going to go ahead and push that down, and then just make sure that I don't need to trim. And I think it's perfect size. There's nothing there to trim. All right, so that's what the inside of our card's going to look like. Just tying the outside to the inside with just that little strip of designer series paper. All right, so let's move on to some placements and figuring some things out. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to attach my paper to my typewriter, and I'm just going to make sure that this piece is not going to stick out of the bottom, and it's not, so it's okay that it's there. Rita, I'm so grateful to have you here, regardless of whether you watch on replay or live. I love having you live and interacting with you, but the replays are great because sometimes you need to see something a few times to learn how to do it, or you just saw it and you can't remember a certain part. So when you guys go to work on your cards, you can always catch my videos and catch the replay and fast forward to the sections that you need to do whatever you're getting ready to do. Okay, so there's our typewriter that's glued together. On the back of our hello, we're going to put dimensionals. So I'm going to put one on the back of each of those, so we'll get that ready. Our typewriter is also going to be on dimensionals, so we'll get that piece also prepped. Oops, I pulled one off of this one. There we go. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so there's that one. You guys that know me know that that's not enough dimensionals for me, so let's put a few more. John says I have stock in dimensionals and he wishes he did. All right, so let's start playing with our flowers. Okay, I'm going to move that to the side for right now. So on this typewriter, you can see I have a cute little daisy. And so I'm going to take 2 of these little X's and I'm going to put a dot of glue. Thank you, Dawn. I appreciate that. I love the colors too. Bright colors are my jam. I love them. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to put 1 as an X and 1 like a plus. And that makes the little daisy. And then I'm going to put another dot of glue in the center. And then that little orchid oasis stitched circle, that's going to go right there. And we're going to put a mini dimensional on the middle of that. And then that, I'm going to go ahead and pull that off. Well, I couldn't get that. I tried to do it by hand, but Stampin' Cut, my take your pick tool to the rescue. So we're going to go ahead and attach our little daisy onto our typewriter. Isn't that so cute? All right, so we have that part. Now let's worry about making these little flowers right here. So I'm going to show you what I did. So I took this green piece that has the 3 stems, and it's actually supposed to have, I'll show you, this die right here. It's supposed to have buds on those, on each of these little pieces. I'm going to grab you one of my cards that I made with the florist. I did a whole week of the florist, Paper Florist dies. And so this is the piece, okay? So that's the green part, and then they're supposed to have buds on the end. Well, I didn't want to use the buds that came with it. So what I chose to do instead was to cut this into 3 separate segments. Okay, so I'm gonna trim this one down. That's gonna give us 1. Then I'm gonna cut this one in half right here. And that's gonna give us 2 more. Okay, now let me explain how I made our little flowers. So all I did was take this piece and I bent it in half, and I had those petals go in between each other. So when you want to bend it so it's a little bit on an angle like that. And so I'm going to put some glue in the middle there. And then when I press it down, it's going to form that little kind of a daisy, but from the side or from the underside view. And we're going to do the same thing with the large X's. So I'm going to kind of flip this one so that it's in between those, and then this one so that it's over like that. And we'll put a little bit of glue in the middle. Now this is a new flower. I didn't do that during my Paper Florist week that I did the Paper Florist dies. Thank you, Rita. Thanks, I. All right, 1 more to go. So we're going to take this one and we're going to put it in between. I'm going to try anyway to put it in between that. Yep, there we go. And then I'm going to open and I'm going to put this here. Now, if you're using old plates when you die cut, which I get a lot of life out of my plates. I do not replace them very often. So if you're going to do that, you're going to have some texture on your flowers. So what you can do is just use your bone folder over your silicone mat and just press and help get rid of that little bit of extra so that it smooths it a little more and it doesn't quite look like the back of the die cut piece. All right, so I did it to all of mine. Now I'm going to take my glue and I'm going to put glue on the back of this little green part, and I'm going to attach it to my little daisy, and there's one. Isn't it so cute? Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, so here's our other one. And this is the large flower. See how cute that is? All right, one more to go. And then I'm gonna clean my hand because I'm gonna have some glue on it. And we'll move on to the next part. All right, so there's our 3 flowers. You guys are staying with me. Rita, I think I'm gonna put you in charge of my tips and tricks because you always catch them. All right, so now we're gonna figure out how we wanna lay all of these fun pieces onto our card. So I'm gonna move these up here. I'm gonna bring my card onto my silicone mat and try and figure out how I want to place everything. So I'm going to start with my leaves. I'm going to put them just across from each other, these two, kind of like this. Then I'm going to grab my next leaves, and I'm going to put one down here. It's going to be sticking out behind the typewriter. We'll add a few here, and then what I'm going to do to figure out exactly where to place them is I'm going to use my typewriter, and I'm just going to keep bringing it in and out and making sure that I have them where I want them. So I'm gonna kind of figure out where how my typewriter is going to be put down, where I want my little leaves. They're kind of tucked from different spots, right? This piece we're going to tuck down here. We want to make sure that that jagged part is hidden, so I'm going to trim that right there. And then this part should be fine. It should fit under our typewriter. And then the little one is going to go next to that. So I'm also going to trim again, just to smooth where I cut that one piece into 3. So this one's going to go down a little deeper, like that. And right now we're just laying pieces down. And then this one here, I'm going to also trim, just in case it shows. And then this one's going to come out right in between those, about even with that first set of 2. So let's look and see how that looks. And if we're happy with it, we'll start gluing these leaves down and flowers. Let's put this in place. I think that's good. I think I'm just going to pull this leaf up a little bit. But everything else I think is great. So I'm going to glue all this stuff flat. So I'm just going to grab my wet glue and I'm going to put it behind my pieces and just start laying them onto my card, and hopefully they're going to grab and stick. Excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of water because I have been talking a lot. Let me grab my water. And basically you're just figuring out, you know, your placement. Once you have it, then the hard part's done, right? So you're just gonna pick up and one at a time. Sometimes if it's a really difficult placement, here's another tip for you, Rita. I take a picture with my phone. And then I don't have to worry about it. Then I take a photo, and then when I go to glue, like I'll take a picture like right now, like this, boom. And then when I go to glue, I'll have my phone right next to me, and then I'll glue them in the exact place that I see on my phone. So that's another tip. All right, we're gonna put this leaf here. Let's go ahead and do this stem. And I'm gonna add glue to the whole stem. I'm gonna clean my fingers though, because they're starting to get pretty gluey. I always have a baby wipe at the ready. All right, and then we have 2 more stems and 1 more leaf. Do the little one first. And I'm actually going to put a little bit of glue behind that flower. That's the heavy part. So I definitely want that part to stay down. And I'm gonna lift this one up here that's already glued and put some behind it too, because I think that it needs just a smidge there, as well as on the stem. All right, so this one's higher and angled a little bit. All right, let's lift this one up and we'll put a little dot back there and press that into place. All right, we're doing good, guys. All of our major gluing is done. We're almost to the end. It's gonna be a quick one. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and pull the backs off of our dimensionals. I always use my take your pick tool to pull the backs off. I just make sure that I'm holding my piece down. To me, I love that because they all get stuck on the point and then I just push them into the trash can. I never have dimensionals stuck all over me or all over my craft room floor. Hey Clem, thanks for joining us. Thank you. You'll have to watch the replay, Clem, if you want to make this. This is a fun card. All right, so I think I want to move this slightly. I don't like it. I'm going to move it over, and that'll be covered by I just wanted it to come from a different place. All right, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to line up my typewriter and push it down. And then we're going to go ahead and pull the backs off of our hello. Oops, I don't know if I got that one. There we go. So see how they get stuck, and then I just push them into the trash can, which is right next to me. Okay, so now we have to figure out how these are gonna go. So luckily, my little silicone mat to the rescue. I can stick them on here and they're not gonna stay stuck, right? Because it's our silicone mat, nothing sticks to it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna start with the middle L. That's going to be the best way to start. So I'm going to kind of find my center, and if you're a purist, you're going to put your piece, and I'm going to find 2 1/8, and I'm going to put that in the center of my L. Okay, so there's my L. I'll put the other one here, and then my O. And this is how I do when I scrapbook too. When I do any kind of like lettering, I always make sure that I start in the middle and then I work my way on either side. And that's the best way to get it straight. So there is our cute card. I think it turned out super fantastic. There's our inside, no ink. All right, so today we used Just My Type Paper Florist dies. And don't forget about the fun 2022 to 2023 in color 6x6, the 3/4 inch punch that I used to cut out these letters. Stampin' Up! Doesn't sell a 3/4 inch punch any longer, so I will link that in the description below, and you can grab that off of that link if you don't own a 3/4 inch punch. You can also use a 1/2 inch punch if you want the letter without this outline, so check that out. I'm going to show you Sunday and Monday's card. So this one was Sunday. I hope your day is filled with sunshine and rainbows. I thought this was such a fun card, and it has the rays on the inside. If you missed Sunday's video. You'll have to check that out. And then yesterday, I didn't have a video for this card, but I made this card. It's on the blog, so you can check that out on the website. And that's what we have so far this week. So we still have a couple more cards and projects that I'm going to have for you guys. I do have posts every single day on my blog. So if you would like to go to inkyhandswarmhearts.com, you can get information there. I hope that you guys have enjoyed so far the projects that I've made with the Just My Type stamp set. And I've been adding bits and pieces, different things for different ones. Like on this card I used the Give It a Whirl dies, and on this card I used the Scallop Contour dies. But if you follow me and you've been watching me for a while, you probably have all the shapes dies, because I am addicted to the shape dies and I use them all the time. So you might as well just start getting them a little bit at a time because I'm just gonna be using them and then you're gonna want them. So I recommend getting the shapes dies. They help making cards so easy. Does anybody have any questions for me? Thank you so much, John. I appreciate that. Thank you, Mima. Thank you, Rita. Thank you, Dawn. And I didn't add any embellishments. I just felt like this week the cards didn't need them. Like, these little hearts to me were the embellishments on this card, and like, they didn't need any more. I just thought that they were perfect the way they are and they didn't need embellishments. Aw, thank you so much, Lou. And thank you, Clem. I guess you guys don't have any questions. Don't forget, the kits are on sale. That new kit is available. It's a fabulous way to get together with friends and work on some Christmas tags. Thank you, Diane, for joining us. If you guys have not hit the thumbs up for me, I would greatly appreciate it. Please share my video. And if you are a demonstrator watching, or you purchase from another demonstrator, I would appreciate you sharing my video, giving me a thumbs up, and leaving me a comment. That doesn't cost anything. It doesn't hurt your demonstrator. And it helps to support my channel and thank me for my ideas. So thanks for doing that. And I hope that you guys have a fantastic rest of your evening. I will see you back live on Thursday afternoon at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, this is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!